Welcome to The Voice America. Today we'll be discussing on how Donald Trump sounds pretty panicked about spending his twilight years behind bars. But before we continue, do not forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to always get updated on our latest video. Let's begin. Of all the journalism that emerged from Donald Trump's time in office, a number of the foremost damning was a series of articles from the New York Times detailing how the president had inherited millions from his father largely through suspect tax schemes, ripped off tenants, while lining his pockets, and, for a variety of years, paid less in taxes than people living below the poverty level. When the stories, which relied on tax documents obtained by Trump's niece, Mary Trump, were published in 2018 and 2020, the president was characteristically apoplectic. His lawyers vehemently denied the allegations, insisting that most, if not all, of the facts appear to be inaccurate and claiming that there was no fraud or evasion by anyone. If there was, however, Trump had virtually no involvement whatsoever with these matters because the affairs were handled by other Trump relations who weren't experts themselves. At the time, though, Trump was busy with other matters, like letting Saudi Arabia escape with murdering a U.S. resident and, later, laying the groundwork to say the 2020 election was stolen from him. Now he's got longer on his hands. And as his legal outlook grows dimmer and dimmer, he's decided to revisit the difficulty. Additionally, the suit accuses Mary Trump of violating a confidentiality agreement barring her from publicly releasing the small print of the family's finances, claiming Trump's niece, and therefore the reporters were motivated by a private vendetta and their desire to realize fame, notoriety, acclaim and a financial windfall, and to advance their political agenda. One key detail that the suit doesn't mention is that last November, the offices of the Nye Attorney General and Manhattan DA expanded their probes into Trump and his businesses to incorporate suspicious tax write-offs on many dollars in consulting fees, a number of which, consistent with a 2020 Times story, seemed to are paid to Ivanka Trump. That story showed that the very rich land developer had managed to scale back his taxable income by deducting approximately $26 million in fees to consultants as business expenses between 2010 and 2018. While the consultants' identities weren't listed on tax records, a number of the fees definitely seemed like they'd been paid to his favorite child. Because the Times reported, Ivanka Trump has not been accused of wrongdoing, and in response to the news of the expanded probes, she angrily tweeted, "This is harassment pure and straightforward. This inquiry by Nick Democrats is 100% motivated by politics, publicity and rage. They know all right that there's nothing here which there was no tax break whatsoever. These politicians are simply ruthless." The Trump Organization, on the opposite hand, was charged in July with conspiracy, a scheme to defraud, and multiple counts of tax fraud and falsifying records. The corporate, like its longtime CFO, Alan Weisselberg, has pleaded acquitted. Earlier in the week, an attorney for Weisselberg said there was strong reason to believe there might be other indictments coming. During a statement issued on Tuesday, the Days said the paper's coverage of Donald Trump's taxes helped inform the general public through meticulous reporting on a topic of overriding public interest. This lawsuit is an effort to silence independent news organizations and that we decide to vigorously defend against it. On Twitter, Craig wrote, "I knocked on Mary Trump's door. She opened it. I feel they call that journalism." Mary Trump's lawyer Theodore J. Boutros Jr. said during a statement, "This is the latest during a long line of frivolous lawsuits by Donald Trump that focus on truthful speech and important journalism on problems with public concern. It's doomed to failure just like the remainder of his baseless efforts to relax freedom of speech and of the press." For her part, Mary Trump told the Daily Beast of her uncle, "I think he's a fucking loser and he's getting to throw anything against the wall he can. It's desperation. The walls are closing in and he's throwing anything against the wall which will stick." As is usually the case with Donald, he'll attempt to change the topic. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to always get updated on our latest